This meeting is being recorded.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the All We Do Is Talk podcast. We're here with our NFL off-season moves. We'll be going by division this year. I'm here with Moody and Isaiah. How we doing today, guys?
How y'all doing today?
Doing good, man. Just
Off season is among us.
yeah.
Trades already happening. Yeah, we'll get to all of those stuff. But today we're gonna focus on the NFC South, which might have a big trade coming their way, but we're still waiting to see about that. Maybe we'll find out more clarification on that on Friday. But how you doing today, Eric?
Not too bad, man. Getting into my division, so excited.
Okay. So I guess we're gonna start with the division winners. They were on Team Run It Back last year, but this year it just seems like it's gonna be a different type of off season.
Yeah, the former defending Super Bowl champs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be the team we start with. They won the NFC South last year. They are currently, as I got it written down here, is $10 million over the cap. A couple of their upcoming free agents: Jason Pierre-Paul, Ryan Jensen, Sue, Gronk, William Golston, Playoff Lenny, Ronald Jones, and their biggest one, Carlton Davis. So basically, most of the Super Bowl team, the extra free agents they brought on the Super Bowl team are up this year.
They did tag Godwin.
They did tag Godwin, obviously, for I think $19 million. The receiver tag is a bag now. That's crazy. But so they kept him around. They have a couple more moves they need to make. Obviously, Tom Brady is gone. He retired. Hopefully never coming back. The Bucs said he wouldn't play for anybody else if he tried to come back, which is interesting because we know that he wants to go to San Fran. So we'll see how that works out for them. But starting off, I did a couple of free agents I think the Bucs need to work to keep. That would be Ryan Jensen and Carlton Davis. I think Alex Kappa retired, so they just
I think it was,
or was it Marpet?
Retired.
Ali Marpet
Alex
retired.
Kappa is a free agent though.
Yeah, Alex Kappa is a free agent. Ali Marpet retired, and so they've already lost 2/3 of their interior offensive line with Ryan Jensen, who's also a free agent. He's the center. He's the leader. I think they really need to make an effort to get him back in the fold. I also think it's going to be really, really hard to justify losing Carlton Davis. I like Jamal Dean. I like Murphy Bunting, but Carlton Davis has shown the true number one corner potential, and he's going to get a pretty penny from somebody. So whatever restructurings they have to do to make it happen, I think they need to go ahead. They're only $10 million over, so I think just restructuring Shaq Barrett alone gets him back underneath into the green. And then they also have Mike Evans, who could be restructured, Donovan Smith, who could be restructured, Levante David, Vita Vea. They have a bunch of guys who could be restructured. They can open up as much as 30, 35 million to get underneath to get the guys re-signed they need to get. As far as outside free agency goes, since they are limited with their cap space, and I have them keeping Ryan Jensen and Carlton Davis, they really don't have a lot of room to move in the free agency market, especially in the first wave. The biggest fish I think they should go after is Jameis Winston. They got to go address that quarterback spot. You see the quarterbacks are moving all over the dice board though so far. Tampa Bay is going to be picking at the bottom of the draft, so they're going to be hard pressed to be getting one of the first round quarterbacks, even if they go later in the first round. So yeah, Jameis Winston to come replace Tom Brady and maybe give themselves a chance of being competitive again next season.
What type of contracts were you looking at to give out to keep those try to keep those in-house free agents? Because I've seen some teams that I've gone over that could really use those guys, and I think those guys could get priced out.
Is it Ryan Jensen shouldn't be too expensive? I think you could probably get him for 10 to 13 million, 10 to 14 million per year. If you really, really want to keep him around, which I think they should. That's their veteran mainstay on the offensive line. Tristan Wirfs would be the only guy left, and Donovan Smith on the other side, who they can't get rid of. So you kind of have to keep him around. And as for Carlton Davis, he's going to be 16, 17 plus, no question, 4 or 5 years. He could be gone in the first week of free agency. They should be working until next Monday, the new league year, to getting that done, finding a way to keeping him around, along with obviously the Chris Godwin tag. Because if you don't, that leaves a really, really big hole in their secondary, and they got to find a way to fill it.
Okay. That's good work. I mean, how you feel about Tampa Bay, Eric? They're in your division running it.
Yeah, so what I'm hoping they fall apart personally, because I think this is the time where Carolina, if they figure out one spot, can really show leaps and bounds above all teams in this division. I think with Tampa Bay, I think the quarterback issue is big. Jameis Winston, I don't want anyone picking up Mitch Trubisky. Please, no one fall in that trap. So
Someone's
that's
gonna fall for it, Eric.
yeah, someone's gonna go for it. But
QB hungry league.
But
But
yeah,
yeah.
so
All right. For the sake of this luck, surprisingly, Moody's also got the Saints. He's pulling the double duty
So
for this.
I can go ahead and get it
division.
out the way.
But I do agree with a lot of your moves for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's going to be more restructuring in-house, trying to keep what they have in.
That's why I went with the veteran quarterback in James to try to get somebody who can you make it just plug and play instead of having to go with a whole Kyle Trask and a whole new quarterback who can't take advantage of the bets that you have. All right, moving on to the New Orleans Saints. They finished second in the NFC South last year. Just missed the playoffs because the Rams blew a 3-possession lead at halftime. The only time McVay's ever done that. So it's unfortunate for the New Orleans Saints that's the one time.
I just want to pause and say I did say that I did predict that Sean Payton would dip out into the night.
Yeah,
and
Sean Payton is gone.
A week later, he did so.
Sean Payton is gone. Dennis Allen is the new head coach over there. The Saints still have by far the worst cap situation. They were minus $100 million last year, so now they're only down to minus 45 this year. They're cut it in half.
That's reasonable.
Big free agents, obviously, none of these guys are coming back. I'm about to name right here. None of them. Teron Armstead, gone. Marcus Williams, gone. Jameis Winston, gone. PJ Williams, gone. Traquan Smith, gone. Host of other guys on their free agency list. None really bigger than those 5 names. But they're all going to be out of the door. They don't have any money to make anything happen there. They can't keep any of their free agents. They can't sign any outside free agents. This is going to be a team that's going to be very much on the sidelines when it comes to the first couple of weeks of free agency because they just don't have the money to make something happen. As far as the way they can get under the cap, they have 5 restructures: Marshawn Lattimore, Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Bradley Roby, and Marquis Davenport. They can restructure all those guys for X amount of money here and there. That'll get them just under the $45 million cap.
Nothing more, nothing less.
$2-3 million under it at best.
Can't even get Marcus Williams in.
No, dude, they're in cap hell. They can't do nothing.
They can't do anything.
On all my noticeable ones, like noticeable targets, like I have Saints players for my teams because I know they ain't going back. Like
they really can't do anything. This is what they have.
I think they'll find a way to keep Marcus Williams. I do.
They already tagged him, so they can't even tag him again. I said they don't even have the money to tag the guy. I mean, I don't know how. Is he coming for the vet men?
No, but you could rework his. If you sign him to a full deal, you could get that first year at $2.5 million cap.
You heard it right. You had it right the first time. A full extension, which it's already too late for that.
I'm talking about a full deal.
They did that last year.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough. Tough.
So that'd be a big loss.
They also can cut. They also need to cut Malcolm Jenkins. Definitely gotta let him go. Linebacker Demario Davis. He's got to go too. He's 37 years old. Been pretty good for them. Might still have something left in the tank, but you're a team that's not really planning on competing for the next in the next season, and you can't be paying Demario Davis $10+ million. So yeah, those are the couple moves they can make to try to get underneath it. But really, it's not looking great as far as anything they can really bring into it as a return for their free agency.
Before I ask Eric how he feels about the Saints, I think they're going to get a player. I think they'll work there. I think they have the best cap wizard in the league. I think they'll be able to either sign Marcus Williams or those rumors of them wanting Tyrann Mathieu might come to fruition, and they might get one more piece to go in there.
If you're using the rest of that cap space for a 32-year-old safety, okay. Sometimes I think you might have to bite the bullet for a year and try again next year. That's really what I think they got to do.
All right.
Well, yeah, I agree. I agree with Moody. I think there needs to be 1 year reset button for them, because I think if they go anywhere to spend money, it's got to be a quarterback. It can't be for a linebacker because Drew Brees left a hole, and you could tell. And so
even
I think
Jameis left a hole.
He won't even go back, you think?
No, Eric.
No.
He's a quarterback, so he's getting $15 million minimum even on a 1-year deal. So that's it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, so I think they'll dip down a little bit just because of their financials, but they're a good organization. They'll bounce back eventually. Hopefully not too quick, but I think they'll be just fine.
Okay, so moving on to the third place team, another team that's mired in mediocrity, the Atlanta Falcons. Years removed from that Super Bowl disappointment, it feels like it's crazy, and we all know the big elephant in the room is that currently Matt Ryan has a $50 million cap hit.
I thought we started with Calvin Ridley.
That's That's where I went, Moody. That's where I
We were going to get the Calvin Ridley jokes off first before we got to, man, that's a massive cap hit from Matt Ryan.
And to make things worse, their best asset decided to get suspended for the whole season. So
the guy who they spent the last 6 months thinking there was going to be an asset that they were going to be able to use to add some pieces. No.
Or just help the team by be playing. No. He's going to sit out this year. Shame for him. Terrible decision. League came down hard on him.
Really, they made an example out of him.
I'm sure after that example, I don't think we'll see any more of that problem. But knowing these players, we probably will. Right now, Atlanta is in the green. They're $3 million actively in the green right now. But I think they need to rework some things. I extended Matt Ryan because there's just no way that I think it'd be GM malpractice to have Matt Ryan on your cap for $50 million because that just
25% of your cap.
It's just not
in a big cap year.
It just won't work. Give him an extra year, add the 2 void years, spread it out, and that could open up to $18 million in cap space alone. That gets you over 20. I would extend the tackle Matthews. I'd extend him. I'd extend Grady Jarrett or trade him. You have both options there. If you could get the right assets for him, I think you could get some teams that want Grady Jarrett, but you could extend him and save another $9 million. And then the tackle, I told you, Matthews, another $9 million. And then Deion Jones, you could cut, trade, extend him. They got a lot of ways to play that could open up to $23 million in cap space. I don't think they'll be doing a lot in free agency, but actually open up to $50 million in cap space. I misread that. But for me, they do have some housekeeping. They have some key free agents, Fabian Monroe, both their kicker and their punter up. Cordell Patterson coming off the big year. That should be interesting to see what they do with that. Hayden Hurst, who they kind of threw away a second-round pick for which makes things worse. They drafted tight end in the top 5. Agent McCarron, Josh Rosen, a backup for Matt Ryan might be crucial, but Matt Ryan has stayed healthy, surprisingly, so that's interesting. I went about using the money that I would free up to re-sign Younghoe Koo. He's probably a top 3 kicker in the league. I gave him a 5-year, $10 million deal.
You know how
that could go, but I think he's deserved that. He's pretty consistent. Gave Morstead a 2-year, $3 million deal. I think keeping your special teams intact is the least you could do. It's kind of necessary. I wouldn't go and resign Cordell Patterson, the player I think would fit perfectly to replace him. I went with James Conner on a nice little 2-year, $15 to $20 million deal. I think he'd fit that running scheme perfectly as well as Cordell, and he could catch out the backfield. You might need to get a nice change of pace guy for him, because he has never worked as a workhorse. But I think James Conner would fit that system perfectly. And then I also would re-sign Russell Gage, another in-house free agent. He showed something, and I think I wasn't going to re-sign him until a couple days ago when Calvin Ridley got suspended. I was like, oh, wait, now
you really have no choice.
You have a receiver need. And they have the linebacker safety type. You say the name better.
Foye said, local.
He led the league in tackles.
Yeah.
He had an impactful season. I have no idea what the market for him is.
Coverage linebacker, undersized. He's like 225, 230. Like smaller guy, but him and Deion Jones do pair pretty well together.
I'm gonna leave that one for the Atlanta GM to figure out. I would look into re-signing him. I just don't know what the market is for him. So that's how I'd go about fixing Atlanta. I don't think they could go big and go all in. But I just don't think this is the window to do that. Just get some nice little housekeeping things done, and another gap year, and hopefully next year you could get going.
What Atlanta needs to be doing is trying to flesh out the roster for the next quarterback who's going to come in there and take over. But they do have, if they want, like you said, if they want to, one small window to try to get one more team around Matt Ryan to see if you can make something out of it, because maybe Arthur Smith doesn't have the same timeline that we think he has. So we'll see, judging by Atlanta's free agency, how competitive they really think they're going to be.
Yeah. But yeah, Eric, you can go ahead and give opinions about Atlanta, and then move on to Carolina whenever you're ready.
Yeah, Atlanta's kind of like in the Saints, where they're kind of in the middle of a transition of eras, pretty much. I think this year, especially with your best weapon being gone, it should definitely be a flush year, like Moody said. God, that $50 million cap hit is ridiculous. That's absolutely nuts. But yeah, just getting ready for the era after Matt Ryan, I think is big for them. And I'm shocked they're under the cap. I really am.
Just barely.
That's why they had to get rid of Julio.
Yeah.
It's why that had to get done.
Yeah. But moving on to
he had this year, he definitely wouldn't have been able to get off of him.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to Carolina, a very started off fast year, slow, very slow, painful middle and end to the season. Some notable free agents for them. I don't think they're going to be able to keep Stephon Gilmore at all. I think someone's going to throw him a bag. So I don't think
You're
he's
taking the
returning.
conflict for that.
Yeah. Hassan Reddick is also a notable free agent, as well as Dante Jackson. I think with the $31 million that the Panthers have in cap space, they're definitely signing Hassan Reddick and Dante Jackson back. I think I would prioritize Reddick over Jackson, but I think both will come back re-signed. And goals for positionally, offensive line and quarterback, those are really the only two really below average situations for the team. Ryan Jensen was a guy I marked down as a free agent pickup for them, maybe like a Cam Robinson. It also depends on what you want to do with the number 6 overall pick. If you think you can get a tackle, which I think they should with a great tackle class that we're going to have, then you might want to invest more into the interior of the line. So I think offensive line and quarterback need to be it. Hopefully Deshaun Watson's stuff gets cleared up and we can get in the mix for that. He's kind of from the area. I think he's from Georgia, but went to school in Clemson, which is in the Carolinas. So he has connections to the area. I think I would give them almost anything they want. But yeah, so I think with a lot of cap, they could still do a lot of things with it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, one note is Cam Robinson isn't on the market. He got tagged by Jacksonville.
Oh, he did.
So he's not available. But I think the name you're saying correctly is Deshaun Watson. That's the big question for Charlotte. The rumors are that's the destination that he'll probably end up at. But if he's going to jail, he won't end up anywhere but in a jail cell. Mm-hmm. So if he clears up, I think Carolina will go all in for him. But we're just waiting to see about that. Really, that's kind of the last quarterback domino as of now. So that we're waiting to fall, other than Jimmy G, who's had a surgery. But Jimmy G would be a good. He probably fit that scheme that they run with. I don't know what they're running anymore. They got McAdoo now. Ben McAdoo? Yeah, they got Ben McAdoo now.
Ben McAdoo.
That's maybe he has changed up what he's done. He has a pretty simple scheme, being the former New York Giants head coach. But Carolina's gonna be quarterback hunting and offensive line hunting. Like Eric said, that's kind of what.
Yeah, they pretty much they're gonna sit and wait. So beyond the Deshaun Watson, it's really about rebuilding that offensive line. Not really much in the tackle market as a free agency, but there is some guard stuff there. Brandon Scherf, Laken Tomlinson.
Oh, Terron Armstead.
Oh yeah, Terron. If you want to go big game hunting, which I don't know if they're getting Reddick and Dante Jackson back, you're not gonna be able to pull the bag to get Terron Armstead. But yeah, Terron Armstead is available. So there's a few good offensive linemen available and free to see if you want to go after that as well. Definitely gotta clean up that offensive line. No question about it. That's the whole key to making that team work, honestly.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be mad if like they went like a Sauce Gardner 6 and then let Dante Jackson go to get to pay an offensive lineman or something like that. If they let Dante Jackson go, they definitely need to address it in free agency or the draft. So.
All right. Is that it for this division? I think
that's it for this
division that we saw a lot of teams go all in the last few seasons, and that's kind of why they all are where they are, where they're trying to recover. And another team in Carolina that's young, really young and talented, just missing the last few pieces to put them over the top. So
missing the piece. Huh? Yeah, they're missing the piece. Yeah, they got everything else. It's O-line, quarterback, and they would be one of the the best overall roster if they got the quarterback right, because they are young and fairly inexpensive.
The age-old story. We just we're just a quarterback away. Everybody's usually just a quarterback away.
But I think that'll wrap up the NFC South. Mm-hmm. This is the first of many we'll be coming out with. Just hang with us and like, share, subscribe. Catch you, Art.
See you, my man.